Today I'm talking about accessing your spirit guides in the Akashic Record. And there's lots of ways to work with spirit guides. This is one of my favorite ways because it takes place in it's in another dimension, and it's easier to work with your inner circle of guides in this way. So I like to use it for discovering the inner circle of the spirit guides, and also working with them where you might be channeling them for information, or you might also be having coaching sessions with your spirit guide council. So the reason that working with spirit guides is so great is because you're limited to whatever your thinking mind has the ability to come up with yourself or create for yourself, but your spirit guides have more. And since they are assigned to you to help you through this incarnation, through this life, through the choices that you're making, they can see things differently than you can see them. They have more information about you. They know you. They're able to nudge you and lead you to the things that will work out best for you, and particularly in terms of how it lines up with your soul. So that's one of the benefits of working with your spirit guides in the Akasha. So the Akashic Records, I think of it as an energetic database that holds all the information about your soul's journey from the very beginning of its inception, and it will continue even when this body is gone, right? Because you might choose to have another incarnation, or you might be having another type of experience as a soul that doesn't include an incarnation, but that information is recorded as well in the soul record, because it's not about the human experience, it's about the experience. So inside of the Akasha, inside the Akashic Records, particularly when you go into your own record, in my case, I do it for my clients, so I'm going into their record for them. And the first thing I do is I come up with a spirit guide profile. So once I have that information, which is a lot of information, well, Frank can give you some examples. I'm working with a couple of clients now doing spirit guide profiles, and I'm looking very specifically for who they are. So I can find out things like, are they male, female, androgynous? What soul group do they belong to? And what are the characteristics? What their specialty is, what their great gift is. And combined with their characteristics of their soul tribe and the characteristics of their divine gifts, we can figure out pretty quickly what they're doing here in your life and helping you. So that's really a great piece of information to have so that you can understand who to go to for what. And I figure out what their role is on the team. For example, like I'm doing this one, looking at this one profile. I'll just give you some examples. Like the role on the team could be communication, self-expression, helps with any kind of overthinking and the problems that overthinking can cause. Another one is working on love and healing and relationships. Another one's working on something else, right? So it depends on how many you have, right? So in this case, I'm looking at 6 different guides. And then I can also find out what here I use the word impulse, but it's really how they connect with you, how they like to give you information. So like, for example, in this soul profile that I was working on, some of them do it by sending a very comforting feeling that you might really like. Like maybe first coming to the beach and smelling the ocean air, that feeling, not the smelling of the ocean air, but the feeling of smelling the ocean air might be a way a particular spirit guide will connect with you so that you know that they're present. And everything through like automatic writing or through sound and synchronicity. So I'm able to find out what that is, and then I get the guiding message, so there's certain messages, in this case for this particular client that we went through. It's a big chart. So that's the kind of information that you can get about your spirit guides in the Akashic Record, because most spirit guides have had a human experience, unlike angels, which have not. And so, they have had particular experiences that they have created for themselves when they're being incarnated. And then they have experiences that they have for themselves when they're working as a spirit guide. So they're there to do particular things unless they're, unless at some point they're released. You release them. Now, the other group of spirit guides that you can discover in your soul record, the ones that I just described are basically your inner circle. Those are the ones that you can communicate with, that we often communicate with. Sometimes we communicate with them and we don't even realize we're communicating with them when we're saying, oh, please, somebody help me with this, right? Whoosh, then they come on in. There's also an outer circle. There's an outer circle of spirit guides that we can take a look at inside the Akashic Record that you normally do not have a relationship with. And those are guides that are like helpers for example, if you are sleeping and you are leaving your body and you're doing astral travel. There's a guide that is specifically helping you to stay safe and to return in wholeness to your body, right? So that'd be like an astral guide who's on the outer spirit realm. You don't really communicate with this person. This one has a particular job. So that would be, if you're traveling in the astrals when you're sleeping, that guide is the one that makes sure that journey is safe and brings you back safely. There's obviously, most people understand who their early guardian is, right? Guardian, it's like, we usually call it a guardian angel, but it's a spirit guide. And the spirit guide, it's like a bodyguard. They're with you straight through. You don't really have any contact with them. They're the ones that you don't want to distract them. They have a job to do, and it's to make sure that you're safe. Then there's creative guides who are helping you with creativity and being able to see your own creativity, seeing the creativity of others. There are karmic guides who are helping you with the karma that you have brought with you that needs to be resolved, and also the karma that you're creating with the choices that you're making, right? So you have to be careful about that too, right? So this guide helps you. So maybe when you're going to do something that would create a big bag of negative karma for you, the karmic guide might come in and just nudge you a little bit off that course so that your karmic baggage isn't as big as it would have been had they not been there to help you. There's also a spirit guide which is that works with time and divine time, that helps to usher in divine time in the appropriate time for things to occur or for you to have certain kinds of experiences. There's also like a gatekeeper. It's like a gatekeeper, right? A person who manages your soul level information and your ability to remember it. Obviously, we don't want to walk around with every experience that the soul's had floating around in our head, because we would not be having this experience. We would still be going back and reliving a different experience. So that's the one that presents the information appropriately, and also there's an element of timing with that too. And then there's in this outer circle is sort of managed by a chief guide that makes sure all the moving parts are working in your highest and best good. The kinds of things that you can do with your spirit guides in the Akasha is you can do direct channeling for guidance and information on a very specific topic. So you can ask the questions, download the information that you receive while you're in there channeling your spirit guides. Now, sometimes you will have a direct connection with a very particular guide that has a specialty in this particular area. In fact, you could even request it. Sometimes all of you are going to have an opinion. Let's call it an opinion, but it's actually not an opinion, right? It's guidance from another place of knowing you better than you probably know yourself. So they might be getting together, discussing what is the best guide. And then one will step forward and say, we feel that this is the best way forward. And that usually happens pretty quickly. I mean, I've had that in sessions where I can hear all the chatter between them. And I'm saying, well, what is the guidance for this question? They're like, wait. We're working on it. And then one of them comes forward and I'm just a delivery girl. I get the information, I download it, and then I go ahead and I deliver it to the person that I happen to be working with in that capacity. So the other thing that you can do in the Akashic Record with working with your spirit guides is to have a regular spirit guide coaching session, and they can coach you through things on an ongoing way, in a continuum, where it's not just a one-off session where you're in there getting something and you're moving on. Then there's a disconnect. So you can have a continuum in a coaching capacity over a period of time to be able to resolve something. So there's an awful lot that can be done when you access in the Akashic Records, and the benefit of doing it that way is that when you're in the Akashic Records, you're in another dimension. They're already there. You're all on the same page, so to speak. You have access in a much easier way than you would if you weren't in the Akashic Record. Things happen very quickly. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time there. Things happen very quickly, and then there's a continuum. That it's recorded in the Akasha, and there's a continuum, so you can pick up where you left off on a time before. So if this sounds interesting to you and you want me to, you can do it for yourself, right? But I'm a professional and I do it for people, right? They're my clients. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in, knowing who your spirit guide inner circle is, I can do that work for you. It's a service that I do. Just send me a direct message, or you can leave a comment and say, hey, I'd like to know more about that. Anytime I do work regarding your spirit guides in the Akashic Record, I also go into your soul profile and I take a look at a lot of elements of your soul profile first. So you'll have that information too, your own soul profile as well as your spirit guides profile. And then in an ongoing way, right, me and my clients, for my clients, we do regular coaching sessions with their spirit guides. And some people they have trouble connecting even though they have all the tools. I don't, for me it's easy, so I just decide to do it for people in addition to teaching it to you. So if that's something that you would like to know more about, send me a message. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And if it's something you want to do, let's get on it.